I hate the Ben 10 reboot. If the Ben 10 reboot was dying of thirst, I would make sure I trip while bringing a glass of water. A little while back, for curiosity's sake, I thought Alien Extinction would be an interesting watch, only because they were bringing back the originals. Boy, was I ever so wrong. Where do I start? I'm not really sure what the opposite of a Chad is, but whatever it is, that's what I would use to describe Alien Force in 10,000 bends. I'd also like to point out the fact that the Ultimatrix is backwards. Reboot Ben gets his watch taken away, but for some reason he has it in one scene and it's gone in the next. Yes, kids aren't going to point that out, but they probably have no idea who these dudes are in the first place. But come on, did no one proof watch this before they released it? No thanks, I'd rather watch She-Hulk. Okay, no I wouldn't. Maybe that Daredevil episode.
I'm Daredevil.
However, I'm a sucker for Ben 10 games. Vengeance of Vilgax stole my heart, and Cosmic Destruction made me cry like a baby. I love them all. So when I discovered there was an open world Ben 10 game, I almost punched my gran. When I discovered that it belonged to the reboot, I totally punched my gran.
I've fallen!
Now for the sake of this game, I had to put my hatred on hold. Yes, I hate the reboot, but I love Ben 10 games. The hardest choices require the strongest pills. Or whatever he said. So I hopped and copped this bad boy, and let's just say I'm definitely impressed. But next time, I'll just watch Alien Swarm.
You destroyed my car.
I love this movie so much. If you're looking for an action-packed, open-world, visually stunning story-based adventure game, I'd like to introduce Horizon, Tomb Raider, and Spider-Man. But if you're looking for all of that in a kid's game, Cars 2 is totally it. Ben 10 Power Trip in terms of a video game experience is mediocre, but you can definitely appreciate it for what it is. An open-world Ben 10 game with full control of the aliens. Everything else is just not that exciting. Then again, it is a kid's game. So let's at least try to look at this in a different light. Because if I was 10 or so, this game would absolutely be in my top 10. Going into the game, I was doubtful. The rancid taste of the reboot mixed with an open-world action-adventure game did not appeal to my soul. But it was actually pretty decent.
Ugh, I'm starving!
We stopped for food 20 minutes ago.
The game starts us off with Grandpa Max driving his imposter bucket through Europe when the group spots a flash of light in the sky. Max decides to take a detour where we're introduced to Hex the tax collector. Apparently Strudelbeck hasn't been paying their taxes on time, so Hex is on a mission to take their crystally crystals instead. Ben thinks tax evasion is cool, therefore we must put a stop to Hex's axe. Hex then casts a spell that scatters 6 of our 10 aliens around Strudelbeck. God knows what happened to the other 4, but hey, we'll eat what we get or there'll be a fight at the dinner table. Hex gives us a good taunting and then disappears, leaving behind a stone with the lyrics for an unreleased Tekashi 69 song.
I've never seen inscriptions like this before.
Getting into gameplay now, we're introduced to Ranger Ryan, who will be our handler for this portion of the game. He invites us over for a warm strudel, while Ben gives a statement. Once we get to the Ranger's cabin, we're met by Kevin. Not really sure what he's doing on this side of the world, but he's a welcome surprise. Kevin is the co-op counterpart of Ben in this game. I didn't really get to experience Kevin's arsenal of aliens or his gameplay. It would seem that the qualifying factor for this is having a friend. As a result, Kevin just hangs out at the imposter bucket along with Gwen and our grandfather. Anyway, back at the cabin, Ranger Ryan tasks us with putting a cassette tape into a player. I possess the most powerful weapon in the galaxy and you ask me to put a tape in. Who do you think you are? Do you know who I am? So, we do that anyway. After this, we're presented with the Void Rift. Every time we unlock a new alien or have a boss fight, it takes place in the Void. I'm pretty sure they ripped this straight out of Devil May Cry. No, not actual Devil May Cry. I'm talking about that reboot prequel thing they tried back in 2013. Each time you unlock a new weapon, you're sent to the Void for testing. Or every time there's a boss fight, you're stuck in limbo. Even the boss fights have some similarities in this game. This one immediately reminded me of the boss fight with Mundus. Dude was totally ugly. As we enter the Void Rift, we acquire Heat Blast, and then we're given our second mission of the game, removing trees from the road. This is where my second con about this game comes in. The pacing is extremely slow. We're given all of these boring tasks to do, and all of them consist of the same go to point A and then go to point B. I'm so glad they went with Accelerate as one of the aliens in this game, because Ben's scooter is definitely not getting any speeding tickets. For the portion of the game before you acquire Accelerate, it's tolerable. Accelerate keeps a cool 50 km per hour top speed the entire time, and it's miles better than the scooter. So I guess that's okay. The open world is pretty boring. Aside from saving the casual NPC every now and then, there's really nothing to do. The only thing that motivates you to travel is progression of the story. Once we've cleared out the trees, we have to retrieve the ranger's keys that were stolen by a bird. Then we have to stop some basket plunderers, where we met with Lord Decibel. I have no idea who this dude is, but he's just kind of there. He doesn't play into the story at all. I did come across one of his doors, but at the time I was preoccupied, so I couldn't attend to him. And to this day I lose sleep over it. After shutting his shit down, we meet the mayor, who will be our handler for the second portion of this game. He invites us over to the Grashugel village. As we're about to begin our travels, we're interrupted by a phone call. Oh my god, it's Gwen Tennyson. She calls to check up on our well-being and informs us that Grandpa Max is in need of assistance. We hop on over there as quick as Heat Blast can allow. He needs some wood. It's within walking distance, Grandpa. Ugh, I'm Ben Tennyson and this dude calls me to fetch wood. I swear to God, if he wasn't my grandfather, I would beat his ass. On my mama, bro. On my... Okay, so we've got the wood. Now what?
Ben 10 Power Trip.
Alright, let's do this shit. We head on over to the Grashugel village, where we use our powers to become a glorified maintenance guy. We get rid of leaves, fix the power, fetch wood for the competition, catch frogs and grow a guy's beard. Man, I do not get paid enough for this. Dr. Fibian pulls an ultimate betrayal and Hexy Texy gets another crystal, leading us to a boss fight with a massive plant. Whatever, screw the village. I'm going to the city. The city is by far my favorite part of this game. We're introduced to Ariel Roman, a reporter for the Strudelbeck Times. She is our handler for this part of the game. She's much more tolerable. During this part, Ben does more Ben 10 stuff rather than running around doing chores. I mean, it's great that he's helping out the community and whatever, but where's my action-packed Ben 10 game? If I wanted to do chores in a video game, I would play Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
So, we need to move everything from over here to over there.
That's right.
Anyway, back to the city. Something about the dense city feel and cars driving around just tickles my toes. It has a Spider-Man kind of feel to it. The missions are slightly better this time around. Investigating the symbols and piecing it together at the fountain was actually pretty cool. Then you meet these Darkstar looking motherfuckers who make you climb an electrical tower and chase a delivery truck. At this point we get access to Accelerate. It makes traversal so much better. Bye bye scooter. This chapter ends a lot better with a somewhat exciting chase scene, and then we're put right back at a boring ass boss fight. Hexy Lexi gets another crystal and then dips. So now we're off to the snow. The final chapter. The snow was pretty fun too. It was no city, but it was alright. It's pretty lengthy too. It's broken up into parts. We got the Iceberg Ski Resort, Mount Iceberg, Linguini Lake, and Spaghetti Mountain. Interesting names. There's two handlers this time around. We have Marie Gustafsson at the hotel, and we have Astrid Anderson out at the lake. Marie sends us out to help a friend, and then her friend sends us to help her nephew. We get access to Wrath here, and then we have to take part in the slowest task known to mankind. The sniff trail was pretty cool, but the fact that it fades and that we have to keep moving as Wrath just makes it extremely boring. Anyway, we fixed the ski lift, only to skate on it. Pretty rad, dude. Astrid is a complete waste of time. She's this fortune teller who definitely has a few screws loose. She sends Ben around to find a rock and then makes us climb a mountain to get a cat back. But eventually she gives us a present from the universe, a message that actually makes sense, sort of.
And a horse of great length.
We use this information and discover that Hexy Texy is a hotel kind of person. I never would have guessed. I figured he would have his own shrine or temple or something, but okay. Also, we get access to Diamond Head. It definitely put a smile on my face. He has the ability to surf around, which is just so freaking cool. Hell yeah. Anyway, we get a call from Gwen. She informs us about some compass or whatever. I wasn't really paying attention. We do a quick search around Sexy Hexy's room and find a map. Maybe this map can point us in a direction of a good Ben 10 reboot. We take the map back to Astrid and she looks like she's ready to take someone's face off. What is this pose, dude?
No, you were right, for once.
Don't be rude, Ben. She's doing her best. She sends us nearby to get some totems that she claims is used for emergencies. What kind of emergency would a fortune teller be involved in? Yo, tell me real quick, Astrid. Is my wife gonna take the kids or no? Anyway, we get the totems and take them back. Astrid sees that Hex the Text Collector has found the last crystal. Oh no. So we make our way downtown and drop the best pun I've ever heard.
Freeze, Hex!
Hex goes into a void and sets up another boring ass boss fight. Great. We defeat the ice giant and peace out. Feeling like a failure, Ben calls Gwen for emotional support, but Gwen responds with, "Nah bruh, we finna cap his ass." We head back to the imposter bucket. Gwen tells us about the Omnigod. A little on the nose, but okay. Apparently we have to open a portal to the void, and the doctor had the DIY book on opening portals to the void. So we head on over to her lab.
It has a spell for opening a void rift, but it looks like it'll only work in a place called the Circle of Stones.
Hey, I saw that on my touring Strudelbeck pamphlet. Did you know it was built in?
Maybe not the time for fun facts, Grandpa.
How dare you? I'll listen to your fun facts, Grandpa. So we head on over to Stonehenge Jr. for the portal opening ceremony. After about 30 minutes of playing with myself in the void, we finally obtain the Omnigod. Hexy Texy, I'm coming for you. Hex tries to use his alien scattering trick on me, but the Omnigod totally works. Hex decides we should settle this in the void like men, so we follow him into the portal and have another mediocre boss fight. It's pretty much the same as the others, but over a larger space this time. The staircase piece was alright, I guess. We defeat Hex, and then he resorts to positive self-motivation.
I will become the most powerful magician this world has ever seen!
Sure, buddy. You can be whatever you want. And then just like that, bada bing bada ben, we're out of here, dude. Roll those credits. Ben 10 Power Trip is an interesting experience. Despite the slow pace and repetitive gameplay, it's actually pretty good. Will I play it again? I'm 80% sure the answer is no. The other 15% is dependent on whether or not I find someone who I can play as Kevin with. The story is pretty basic. Stop the villain from getting the thingy things he's after. Fail and defeat him in an all-powerful boss fight. If that was Hex's idea of power, he deserved the beatdown. The combat is way too simple, but enjoyable. A 3-hit combo is the highest you can get, so it's no Devil May Cry. Maybe DMC for kids. Like I said, if I was 10, I'd totally love the shit out of this. The open world is next to empty and extremely difficult to navigate. The icon on the map is just there. There's no guidance system and no trail to follow. If there were more NPC events and a time cycle, the world would be so much better. The 3D art style is completely lovable. It's very colorful. This has to be the inspiration for James Gunn's DC universe. I'm not really sure what else to say here. I guess Astrid is pretty hot, or the reporter, or that Marie lady at the hotel. A rated M Ben 10 open world game based within the 10K or Alien Force continuity would totally make me leave my wife and kids. But until that day comes, I'm just gonna watch Ben 10 Alien Swarm.
Who is that guy? I think you mean who was he?
I love this movie so much.